Welcome to Starfleet Universe On Call. I am Paul Franz, and I'm here at Gamers of Winter doing the second demo of this con. Obviously, if you are in the area and want to come down, I won't be here. We can play some more. What I'm doing is going to be demoing the Federation Commander, and if you want to join me in playing it, hey, come on down. I'll be happy to play that. I've got other Starfleet Universe games. We have other games that are not even Starfleet Universe that you can come down and play. So we're going to start with Federation Commander. I have a quick little scenario here where we got a Federation and we got a right here. We have, I know it's a little hard to see against the background, but that is an Orion Light Raider, and we have also, and he's coming to attack the planet. And the Federation sent a frigate to deal with this Orion pirate who wants to attack the planet and steal some things from it. This is the Federation frigate that's come to the rescue. And so, what we're going to start off with, of course, is how do you start the game? Obviously, you have the cards here. We have this. You have different kinds of boxes. The pink ones are usually they're weapons, because we have a phaser 1, a phaser 3. We have two photons here, 1, 2. We have a phaser 1 up here with a firing arm of front half, and we have a phaser 1 and a phaser 3. These are the right side phasers. Then we have, of course, the yellow system, which are just they're systems. The boxes are systems, and we have two shuttles here. There's some transporters. We have a tractor beam, and then we have, of course, the blue, which is power units. You use those to calculate how much power you have for it. So what we're going to do is to start off. What we're going to do is we're going to count up how much energy we have. Okay, that's the first thing we have to do. We have to calculate our energy. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, plus 3 more is 15, and 15, and we have 1 reactor, so that's 16. Now, since it's the beginning of a scenario, these batteries are full, so that means we actually have 18 points of power. And now let's see with the Orion Pirate. He has we have 10 here, 10 warp, 2 impulse, that makes it 12. We have any reactors? We have no reactors, which makes sense for the Orion. Orion has a special ability that for warps and impulse engines, you actually can double the amount of power that it outputs temporarily but you lose 1 warp box when you double the engine output. So, and then we have 3 batteries. So we have currently, if he comes in a regular, what's going to happen is he's going to see that, okay, we have 10, we have 12 total power. Oh, and these have option mounts. So what I plan on doing actually for this is we're going to have a disruptor in the first weapon mount, and then on the side I'm going to be putting drones. So it's going to have 1 disruptor and 2 drone racks. And of course we have the 360 degrees phaser 1s. So we have 12 points. The question is, what should I? He wants to come in hot and heavy. So he's going to double it. So it goes from 10, 12. So it's going to be 24. Actually, I don't think you can double the impulse. I think you only can double the warp in Federation Commander. Sorry, I apologize. So that's going to be 22, and then of course you have total 25 power. So this little one has more power than this larger frigate. So now there is, as I said, there's a penalty for doubling your engines. Now, so what's the first thing you have to do? The first thing you have to do is you have to set your baseline speed. How fast is the Lyran going to come in? The Lyran, I think, is going. Sorry, not the Lyran. I get confused because LR reminds me of Lyran. It's not. It's a light raider, it's pirate. He's going to come in going at speed 16. Speed 16, according to the card, is a cost of 4. So that means you have to go down here, and that's 21. Okay, I'll explain something about that. Oh, okay, I got to explain it now, which is, okay, none of these weapons are multi-turn arming weapons. Because they're not multi-turn arming weapons, that means you use kind of a use energy upon usage. So there's nothing to kind of do during your energy allocation. The energy is removed when you actually use that weapon. So it has 21 power. Now this one, it's a little different. Okay, we have the Federation, which is a tiny bit more complicated. Okay, I'm going to have him come in. I'm going to have him also go speed 16. Okay, speed 16, that's going to be a cost of 4. So he's going to be down to 14. Now, this is a Federation, so that means with photons, well, they usually cost 2 points of energy, 2 points of warp, no, 2 points of energy to charge for each turn. So, but they start fully, yeah. If you want them fully charged, you have to use your battery to have them so that they're fully armed. So if you want them preloaded, you have to use your batteries. And the batteries, so there was 2 batteries. So I'm going to use the batteries, 2 points of power, to preload them, and to hold them is going to cost another 2 points of energy, because it's standard photons take 1 point of energy to hold. Okay, so we got energy allocation done. We've announced, and of course we both know what the speed is. Normally you go for you also, for part of any education, you can shield regeneration. You can actually repair your shields. And that's what these are. These are shields that protect the ship all around here. And you don't have to, in Federation Command, you don't have to pay for them. It's built in to the ship itself. Unlike Starfleet Battles is a different system that we actually are required to actually charge your shields. So in this case, we don't have to worry about the shields. They're already charged, but okay. So, and then if you have any continuous beams in place, you have to pay for those as part of energy allocation. But we're not even close enough for tractor beams, so there's no tractor beams in place. So that's done. Okay, so that's when we're gonna make sure that everyone knows what the speeds are. So impulse, then we go on to impulse 1, as it says here. First thing you do is you can declare acceleration or declare emergency decel. Now, to pay for acceleration, what you do is you pay for 1 point of energy. Cost of acceleration is a quarter. Basically, it's a movement cost. Like movement cost for this frigate, movement cost for this Lyran is also it's 1/4 point of power. So, if you want to increase your speed, so instead of going 16, you go 16 plus 1. That gives you an extra subpulse of movement, because each impulse you can move up to 4 4 times per impulse. So I'm not going to have either one pay for acceleration, and neither one are going to declare for emergency deceleration. The emergency deceleration, what that does, you say I'm going to do emergency deceleration for a ship, and then it stops the ship from moving. You stop dead, and you can't move for the rest of the turn. We can't move forward for the rest of the turn. Okay, and so let's move the subpulses. So the first subpulse, 24 plus 1 and 32 moves, so we don't move. Impulse 2, 16 moves, so we have both of us move. Now, yeah, there's this one's a turn mode A. This is a turn mode double A, as you can see here. This is a turn mode of B, and because of that, that means that this guy has to move first. He's going to move straight ahead, and then he's going to move straight ahead, because he has a better turn mode than the Federation frigate. Okay, subpulse 3, nobody moves. Subpulse 4 here, yeah, 8, 16, 24, and 32 move. So again, he's gonna move here. Now, he has not entered into the hex of the planet. If he would move into the hex of the planet, he would be destroyed, unless he was actually trying to land on the planet. And I'm not sure if that's actually something. Actually, no, that's something you can't do. I don't think that's something you can do in Federation Commander. You can do that in Starfleet Battles, but not Federation Commander. Okay. Then we have other activities. We can do defensive fire. You can do add, then phaser, then tractor. And so what defensive fire for is if you have a drone. Let's say a drone. A drone is a missile that basically, if it lands on the ship, meaning it actually strikes the ship, then anytime during this turn, anytime during that impulse, the resolution for that is actually done at the very, during the defensive fire segment of that impulse. So, first thing if you have ADRACs, he doesn't have any ADRACs, so you wouldn't fire an ADRAC to attempt to. If you fail with ADRACs, then you can actually fire phasers. Now, the one thing when it comes to phasers and you're seeking weapons, whether it's a drone or like a plasma torpedo, either one of those, you have to announce what weapons you will be firing on that weapon. You resolve the weapons, any drones or any seeking weapons that have landed on the ship, meaning about to strike the ship. You have to define. You resolve the destruction of the seeking weapons one at a time. And when it comes to the phasers, you have to go number 1, number 2, number 2, and you have to announce what phasers you're going to fire against them. If it gets destroyed after rolling the first phaser and you had fired 3 phasers, well, you just had wasted 3 phasers on that weapon. But you can't say, roll a die and then see how it works, and roll another die and see how it works. No, you have to announce what you want to fire against it. And then but if you have a tractor beam, when this guy has a tractor beam, if the phasers don't work, then you actually can use your tractor beam to hold the drone. You can't do that. You can't not tractor plasma torpedoes, but you can tractor drones and suicide shuttles. So that's how defensive fire would work. Then after that, it's offensive fire. Given our range, let me look at the range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have a range of 16 right now. That seems a little long range to fire any weapon, so we're not going to fire yet. And launching seeking weapons, in theory, if I wanted to, I could now um, launch a drone, or he could launch a drone if he wanted to, at the Federation. And I think both of them are going to decide they're not going to do that. So we're going to go on with Impulse 2. Impulse 2. Is anybody going to play for acceleration? Actually, I think with... Okay, I'm gonna, the Ryan is going to pay for acceleration. So it's 20, and actually it's going to be 20 with 3/4 power. I don't have another clip, paper clip to mark that. So just forgive me for that. Okay, so first impulse. Okay, nope. Second subpulse. It's okay, 16. So that would be him first, and then the pirate. Okay, impulse subpulse 3. Well, the pirate moves by himself. Subpulse 4. They both move. Okay, the Federation moves, and then the pirate moves. Defensive fire. There's no drones. Offensive fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Range 11. Whoops, excuse me. Annoying that there's keep on coming out. That's another thing to keep in mind when it comes to range. You don't count the actual hex that the ship is in. So it's not 1. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not. It would not be. So I know some systems it actually range 1 is the same hex. No, range 0 is the same hex. So let you know. Okay, so other things. Oh, I forgot about one thing, which is the other thing that you can do, which is you can drop shields or ray shields. You can do transporters or tractors. Tractors, you can tractor actually not just drones. You can tractor other ships. Transporters, you can actually use them to transport boarding parties onto another ship to capture it. To basically capture the ship. And of course, you have to drop your shields first. The shield. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not. I just realized that's not obvious. To actually be able to board a ship, the shields must be down, or at least the shield in that arc, because that's one thing that Federation Commander is like Starfleet Battles, in that you have your different shields. So direction matters. So in this case, right now, okay, this is shield 1. Well, shield 1 goes if the pirate would fire at the Federation at this point. Okay, this is the shield 1 starts here and goes to here. So let's go right down this line here. So that'd be shield. Yep. So this definitely, and the other one's this way. So this ship is in the arc of shield number 1, which is right here. But still, it's range 11. He's not going to fire offensively, and there's no system activity. But you know what he's going to do is that the pirate is going to launch two drones, because he wants to get ahead of this thing. He wants. So with that, we're going to go with Impulse 3. Impulse 3. Nobody's. I think the pirate's going to pay for acceleration again. So now he's all the way to have 20 and a half when it comes to power he has available to him. So Pulse 1, nobody moves. So Pulse 2, both move. Okay, he moves first, and then he moves. Next, he's going to turn, and they're going to. Oops, I forgot one. This is actually these are moving speed 24. I forgot they should have moved in Subpulse 1. And so now, the one thing I did not talk about, which is turn mode. This thing has a turn mode. Okay, range speed 16. We have a turn mode of 2. That means you need to move 2 hexes forward, either directly forward or forward in a side slip. Because what thing that could happen is that you can actually side slip. Instead of going directly forward, you can side slip. Now, the side slip mode is always 1, no matter what your speed is. That means if he would go side slip right now, next time he only has 1 or 2 options. He can either turn, or he can go straight ahead. He could not side slip again, either that way or the other direction. You couldn't do that. But he's gonna turn, because he has completed he's completed the requirements for a turn. So he's going to turn and try to keep the Federation at bay. Doesn't want to get them to get too close. So now in subpost 3, the Lyran moves again, and also the drones. And then lastly, subpost 4, he moves. The Lyran moves, and then the drones move. Sorry. Seeking weapons always move last when it comes to order of precedence. Okay. What's the range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, still a little long range. So the Federation's not gonna fire at the Lyran at the moment. But what actually the Fed is going to do? Actually, the Fed does have anti-drones, but he's going to make it easy on this impulse. What he's going to do is he's going to launch a drone, which he's going to target it on one of those drones. So we're going to the next impulse, which should be impulse 5 at this point. Yep. Got it right. So is the pirate, the Orion pirate, is he going to pay for the acceleration again? Yeah, he's going to pay for the acceleration. So now this is down 20 to 20 and a quarter. So, and the Fed's not going to do that. He's going to save his power. Now, so actually I think it's here. Actually, I'm here on impulse 4. Yeah. Speed. Okay. Okay. 24. Okay, so nobody moves. Impulse. So pulse 2. The Fed moves first, and then the Orion moves, and then the drones move. Okay. Next subpulse. Now would be, again, the drones move. Also, the Lyran move. The Orion moves. He's going to turn again because he can. And then subpulse 4 is going to be. He's going to move. He's going to move. I don't know how I did that, but you'll move, and then he moves. Okay, so if the No defensive fire because no drones have struck yet. Not sure how I did that. Then we come to the offensive fire. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's nice. It's closer, but again, the issue is that again actually not again. Direct fire weapons have certain arcs. In the case of the Federation, you got the photons, which are forward arc, which is going to be from here to here, which means that the Lyran's out of arc. Actually, in arc of the Phaser 1, which is basically goes all the way down here, which is goes right down this line here, goes from here all the way around to this line, which goes all the way out. So they could actually fire that. Also, you could fire Phaser 1, which is the left side, which is this goes it's right here. So it goes from here, anything in that arc. And then the other one that has it is right side, which is here to anyone in that arc. But so you could actually, if the Federation wanted to, it could fire 2 Phaser 1s. But at range 8, it's not really worth it because we look at it at range 8. Damage of 3, 2, 1, 1. So it's not much damage. So he's not going to do it. And again, for him, same issue though. He has 3 Phaser 1s, which are 360 degrees. That means it can fire in any direction. But we still have the disruptor, which is going to be FA arc, which again is out of arc. So we're going to move on to, and the question is, does the frigate one? Let's say he wants to actually, I'm going to do that. He's going to tractor the one of the drones. So when he tractors the drone, okay, that's going to take 1 point of power, so it's now down to 9 power. He's going to tractor the top drone, which is what that's targeted on. So it won't be moving. Okay, and neither one can launch any seeking weapons because when it comes to the drone racks, they only can fire a missile, a drone, once turn, and they both have used up their fire for that. So next, so we're going to impulse number 5. I think the Orion's not gonna pay for it anymore. Not gonna pay for acceleration this time. Okay, so subpulse number 1, nobody moves. Subpulse number 2, the Federation moves first, and that's going to go here because he's tractored, so he has to go along with it. And then the Orion side slips in, and then the drones, this one goes in and it strikes him. Okay, we just leave it like that. And then this one comes closer. Okay. Now, subpulse 3. This drone hits that drone, and that's destroyed. So we can take those off the map. And nobody else moves. Okay, subpulse 4. He's going to turn in, and he's going to turn in too. So now what we need to do, we need to resolve the defensive fire. Since the drone rack, which we use as the drone ad rack, was used as a drone rack, it can't be used as an ad rack also on this turn. So he needs to fire his phasers. So he's going to fire. It takes 4 points of damage to destroy the drone, and if I don't destroy it, it does 12 points. So the question is, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it easier on myself. Give it its range 0. I'm just going to fire my left side phaser 1 at at the drone rack. Actually, let's make this exciting. Let's make this exciting. Give me a sec. Forgive me, I forgot to grab my dice. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to fire one phaser 3 at the drone, and the phaser 3s, here they are. Here's the chart. It's a range 0 attack. So if I roll 1 through 5, because it's all 4s, it destroys the drone. If I roll a 6, it lives and it hits me. Rolls a 4, so actually I do destroy the drone. And also, this is a phaser 3. Phaser 3s use half a point of energy to fire, so now this is down to 8.5. So that one's destroyed. So the defensive fire is complete. So next would be offensive fire. So we range 1, 2, 4, 5. That's a decent range, and it looks like they're both facing the shield. This one's both of them facing shield number 6 of one another. This is shield number 6. That'd be this shield here and this shield here. Good. For here, it's shield number 6 because put it here. See. So at range 5, the Orion is going to fire his disruptor, which is going to fire in overloaded mode, which requires 4 points of energy. Overloaded, you can fire in standard or overload mode. Standard mode, as you can see on the back here, standard mode at range 5, it does 3 points of damage. If it's overloaded, it does 6 points of damage. Costs 20 so much energy, costs 4 points of power, but it can do that. Now it has a 1 to 4 to hit, and it's going to fire the 3 phaser 1s. So this is so let's do that. So, and the disruptor hits, so it does 6 points of damage. Now we're going to fire 3 phaser 3s. So 1 and a 6 at range 5. 1 and a 6, that's 7, so a total of 13. And another 1, so that's a total of 15 points of damage on the shield number 6. It's going to resolve. Okay, we have to resolve that damage. So, forgive me. I forgot to bring my marker, and I apologize for that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to mark that as that, and then we got 16 points of damage. So given that, we have 8 points of power here that we can that we can use. Now we have only 2 batteries, and if for a volley, you only can use when it comes to your power. You only can use the same amount of power you have. Sorry, same number of batteries that you have. So I can only do a reinforcement of 2 points. So I'm going to do 2 points, so that goes from 16 points of damage down to 14 points of damage, and it costs me 2 points of energy. So 14 points of damage, so that's 6. That makes it 10. And that makes it 14. So there's 14 points of damage against that. And then that's what it now has. The shield is partially down. This cost me 4 points of energy for the overload disruptor, and then 3 points of energy for that, so it's 7. So I'm down to 13 points of energy. Now, and I think the Federation also is going to fire its 2 photons. It's only going to do standard because it saved its energy. So at range 5, it's 1 to 3 hit. It does 8 points, so you get 2 possible to hit, and it's going to fire the one phaser 1 that it still has available, which is the front half phaser 1, because actually you got 2 phaser 1s. I forgot. I only fired the phaser 3 over here. So 2 phaser 1s and 2 photons. Let's go for the photons first. Actually, yeah, photons first. 1. Okay, so both hit. So it's 16 points of damage. So 16 points damage. Just mark that down there. And then another 2 points. Now it's phasers. 1 and a 5. So that would be here. So 1 and a 5 has an additional 8. So a total of 24 points of damage. Okay, the Orion has three batteries, so it's going to use 3 points of energy to reduce the amount of internals, or reduce the number of damage. So from 24, it's going to be down to 21, so a total of 21 points of damage. And there's 20 box shield. As you can see, the 20 right here. I'm not sure if you can actually read it, but there's a 20 here which tells you how many shields. So this is a 20 box shield. So that means 21 minus 20 is 1. So we got 1 point of internals. Now the damage allocation chart is right over here. So we roll a single die, and depending, and that will tell you which table that you use, and then that will do. What happens is you roll a die, and then if it's the idea is you roll 1 die for each 10 internals. So you roll a die and then see which table you use for those 10 internals, and then you go across the top. Now, if in the case of you got right warp. Okay, if you try to hit a left warp here and you had no left warp, then it would go to the alternate, which is right warp. So in this case, what's the table? Table number 5. So that's a lab. Do we have a lab? Do we have a lab? We don't have a lab. So the alternate for the lab is impulse. So an impulse engine got destroyed. Bye-bye. So now the Orion is down 1 point of power and has a down shield number 6. So flip this over. So we go on to impulse number 6. So we're going to the next impulse. So I think that's impulse number 7. I think I got that right. And with that, okay, is the Lyran going to pay for acceleration? Yeah, I think he's going to pay for acceleration at this moment in time. So that's going to put him down to, down to a quarter. So he has a 10.25. This guy has 6.5. So first, first sub pulse, nobody moves. Second sub pulse, both move. So the oh yeah, I forgot. He just turned, so he's gonna want to go. He's gonna try to maintain distance, so he's gonna side slip. The Orion is gonna go straight. So, okay, next impulse. Next pulse. The Orion moves. So what he sees that he's in a dangerous situation. So he's going to turn and get his down shield away from the Fed. And next pulse, both move. So he moves first. The question, of course, is does he want to? He still has up shield, so he's gonna follow the Orion. The Orion as he chases the Orion, and then okay, no one has anything to fire. So we're gonna move on to the next impulse. Impulse number 8. Okay, the Orion's gonna pay for it again. So it's gonna pay for the speed increase, and the Fed's is gonna be smart, and he's gonna save his. Actually, he's gonna do the same to try to keep the Orion close. So okay, first sub pulse, nobody moves. Second sub pulse, he moves, and then the Orion moves. Third sub pulse, he moves, and then the Orion moves. Fourth sub pulse, he turns and moves because he wants to bring his mostly down shield out of it, and then the Orion moves. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the turn. Now, at the end of the turn, okay, count the batteries. You got 3 batteries, so you have 3 points of energy in the case of the Orion. Okay, and then same here. You've got where is it? Two batteries, so it's got extra power. So it's got 2 points of energy. Next is okay. The photons are already used. Okay, nope. Don't worry about that. Which is calculate lab points. Lab points. You can use labs when it comes to scientific missions. Those are different scenarios where the idea is that you're trying to collect information. Sometimes it's just collecting information from a monster. Sometimes maybe collecting, in this case, maybe collecting information for the planet, about the planet. That there might be like in this, let's say there's in a scenario where you have a planet where you have these scientists and they're doing experiments, and you send in. Like a Klingon sends in his ship just to observe. He wants to do it quickly. Well, the Feds find out about it, and they send a police cruiser, which or another ship. I'm going to say police cruiser to attack, and then you have reinforcements which will come to help him. Well, the Klingon then has a time limit on trying to collect all the information he needs to collect to have because his success is based on not combat. His base is based off of if he can collect the information. Like maybe you can send a Klingon F5 and then have one police cruiser come in, and then in like 3 turns another police cruiser is going to be coming in. So as reinforcements. Collect, it makes it more and more difficult as the scenario goes on. But okay, and then last is repair phase. And you can ships can dock or undock or take off. If you so if you were land on the planet, you can take off and undock if you're actually docked to a base station. Come to the repair phase, you have damage control here, which allows you to repair different units. Now, you cannot repair a box which you had just got destroyed. You have to wait for the next turn to actually repair the box. So he can do it. He can't repair his impulse. Oh, I forgot one last thing, of course, which is that because of he doubled his warp, so I lose one warp box. So bye bye. So that is done. So we go on to turn 2. Well, turn 2. What's going to happen here is that the photons are going to spend 2 points of energy for each. Okay, well, actually, the first thing I have to do is calculate how much energy you have, which is give me what I had before, which is that was 16, right? Right, 16, because it's 12, 15, 16. So I have a total of 18 points because you had actually left over from last. Now, for this one, it's going to, I'm going to be arming the photons again. It costs me 2 points of power for each of one of those and that gives a 4, so that's down to 14. Now, and that's it. Then I have to figure out what is the base speed I want to have from the go. I think. I think he's gonna stick with 16, so that's gonna be a cost of 4. So let's go down to 10. Okay. This guy. Now he's gonna double again. So that's going to be goes from 20. So it's going to be 18, 19. So we have 19 plus 3 is 22. So now it doesn't have any weapons that need to be charged, during energy allocation. So there's nothing to do there. Now speed-wise, he's gonna try to whip around this. So he's gonna go speed 24 instead. So that's gonna cost him 6. So that's 16. Okay, and that's erase that. Okay, I'm gonna start the turn. Okay, first impulse. Anybody pay for acceleration? No, not for the first impulse. Okay, so you guys can see that. So, and then, okay, first subpulse, nobody moves. Second subpulse, the Rhine goes first, and then because of, in this case, the Rhine is going slower than the Federation. The Federation, since he's going speed 24, he has the advantage. So, in the case of Federation Commander, it's not like some games where you roll for initiative. There's no initiative. Speed is life. Speed is the initiative. The faster you're going, the more you have a higher initiative. After that, then you check on the turn mode. Okay, who has the better turn mode? So he moves. So third subpulse. Okay, that's the Ryan is going to, actually he's going to turn here. He wants to make this close. And then he doesn't move because he doesn't move on subpulse 3. Subpulse 4, he moves and he moves. No defensive, offensive, or launching at the moment. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention, which is you have to have a line of sight when it comes to having lock on your target. At this moment in time, actually, let's do this. Give me this real quick. Go from middle of this one to the middle of this one. Yeah, it goes through the planet. So there's no lock on. So you you can't launch on. He cannot launch on him. So go on to the next impulse. Next impulse, subpulse 1, nobody moves. Subpulse 2, he moves, and then he moves. Subpulse 3, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and he can move once to. Okay, subpulse 3, he moves, so he's going to side slip, and then subpulse 4. He's going to get. The Fed's going to be smart. It looks like the Lyran's going to go around the planet. So he's going to turn, and he's going to turn. Again, they're blocked line of sight. So there's in this case, because of the planet. Normally, if it was like another unit, then the block is not blocked. There is a stacking unit when it comes to Federation Commander, in which case you start getting penalties. Okay, suppose. Okay, so that's done for that one. Is he going to pay for it? No, he's not going to pay for additional speed. So, okay, impulse 3. Okay, first impulse. First pulse, nobody moves. Second pulse, he moves, and then he moves. So he's going to side step out. Third pulse, he doesn't move, but he moves. So he's going to turn and move in. And then subpulse 4, they both move. So he moves. Now, what the Orion's going to do is he's going to do what's called canceling movement. In Federation Command, you actually can pay for not moving. So, in this case, it costs to cancel a movement. It has a deceleration cost, which is 1/4. So that would be down to 15 and 3/4, and 3/4 right there. Okay. Now they're for that. Now next, okay, no defensive fire, offensive fire. Okay. Ooh, that was a bad move. The Federation is going to. Okay. Let's resolve this. This is basically supposed to be simultaneous, but it makes it easier because it looks like the down shield for the Lyran, for the Orion, is facing the Fed. The Orion made a boo boo. So I'm gonna have the Orion's gonna fire on the Federation first. So it's gonna do its overloaded disruptor again and the 3 phaser ones. So let's overloaded disruptor 4. And let's double check. I'm pretty sure this is range 3. So go here, go to range 3, and we have 8 points of damage. So 8 points of damage on shield number 1. And then we have at range 3, we have 3 phaser ones. So range 3, we have a 3 and a 6. That's 7 points of damage. And 2. Range 3 is 5 for 5. So it's 12 plus 8 is a total of 20 points of damage. And we're going to resolve it here. So we have 18 and we have 2 batteries. So he's going to use his 2 batteries. And it's going to drop the shield number 1. Because the shield number 1 is 18. So 2 plus 20 minus 2 is 18. And the shield was 18, so there. Now, this cost him 4 for the disruptor, and then 3 more for the phaser, so he has 8 points of energy. He's going to fire because it's close. Let's look at this. Okay, at range 3, phaser 3 has 3, 2, 1. But you know what? Actually, no, he's going to keep his phaser 3s around just in case he needs to protect himself from any drones that the pirate is going to might launch, because seems like he likes to do that. So he's going to fire 2 phaser 1s, a right side phaser 1 and the front half phaser 1. Okay, what we got? Range 3. We got a 3 and a 6. Range 3, a 3 and a 6. That's a total of 7 points of damage. So this is going to be 7 internals on it, because unfortunately it's a down shield, which means the Leorian cannot use reinforcement. You need a shield to reinforce. So in this case, it can't block any of the damage. So that is 7 points of 7 internal. So let's see what table I get. I get 2. So it's a phaser. So there goes a phaser. Next is rear hull. Well, there's a center hull, which is the same thing. Reactor, there's no reactor, so battery. Lab, no lab. Okay, left warp. Uh-oh. Forward hull, yeah, there's a forward hull. It's called center hull. Tractor, it's got a tractor. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more, which is hull. So he lost 1 tractor, lost 1 phaser 1, lost a battery, and another point of power. This is not looking good for the pirate at the moment. But what's going to happen is that he's now going to launch again 2 drones at the Federation. Okay. So next, let's go to sub impulse 3. Sub pulse 1, nobody moves. Sub pulse 2, he moves, and then he's going to side sub out is what he's going to do. Try and maintain the range, and then the drones go forward. Okay, sub pulse 3, drones hit the down shield, but we have to wait for resolving, and then he moves, which is good, because now since they both move, this is going to actually we don't have to worry about it resolving fire. But if he was able to fire, but you can't, what would happen actually? This guy would move forward because of he'd be this guy would be moved forward, in which case his shield number 5 instead of shield number 6 would be in arc. So okay, and finally, sub pulse 4. He's going to move, and he's just going to go. Yeah. Give him a little. Oops. Yeah, like that. Okay, so let's go through the options. He's not used his drone rack, so he can use it as an ad rack instead. Forgot. Use one drone rack. One drone from the drone rack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forgot that. So now he's got, okay, so he's going to try to fire an ad. And forgive me. Right. I don't see it here, but let me roll. That, I think that's a miss. The 5, I think it's a miss. So he does not. On the one drone, he tried to ad rack because he only has one ad rack. So let's mark that down and use an ad round. Now we have the phaser 3s. Okay, so we have the 2 phaser 3s that he can fire. So that's going to cost him 1 point of energy. So it's down to 7. So number 1, he got. Second one, he got. So he got both of the drones. Fortunately, because otherwise that would have been really, really deep trouble for the Federation. Okay, next impulse. Okay, and that'd be. So he would move first. Since he's launched everything. Actually, he can come behind him, and he'll move forward. Okay, next subpulse, he moves. Next subpulse, he moves, and then he moves. Next impulse. Yes. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it here because it's a really, at the moment it's a really close game. Here's obviously the tactical situation. Tactical situation here is that the Fed has no shield number 1. So if he continues to try to chase the Lyran, chase the Orion. I keep saying that. Forgive me. What's going to happen is that the Orion has 360 degrees phaser, so he can actually fire backwards and doesn't have to worry about his down shield number 6. He has to worry about his shield number 1 because of the photons will actually have an issue with the photons because with the photons they're firing arc FA arc, so he has to make sure he's on shield number 5. So he has to basically turn and have it go and basically turn the ship to be like this, which he can do. What would probably happen is the next impulse is okay. First impulse, subpulse, nobody moves. Second subpulse, he's going to head to a high energy turn. You can do, and what that will cost him for a high energy turn, it costs 1 1/4. So that's going to be 1 1/4. So that, and then that's going to be 3/4. So that will get that shield a better facing. And then the Lyran would do that. And my guess is the Lyran says the Orion. Sorry, I keep doing that. The Orion would go. This ain't worth it. Because Orion pirates are not known for trying to beat another ship to death. They're in for the money. More damage to the ship, the more cost of repair. But of course, the problem is they didn't get their goal, which means it's going to be a failed mission and costs out of their pocket. But anyhow, I think the Federation will be able to recharge its photons, and possibly with that head, he will keep the good shield in arc. The Orion is going to be starting to run out of power. If he keeps up this doubling, it's going to cost him some. So, and of course, he can reload his drones But many times to reload his drones, the Federation is going to come back and he's going to have his photons fully armed and overloaded. Because one thing he did not do, which is for the first turn, which is he didn't add overload energy. He could have added overload energy, and if he would have done that, then instead of doing only, he could have done 16 points of damage. So instead of doing 16, he could have done 32 points of damage, in which case the pirate would have been completely not obliterated, but would have been in a really much deeper problem. So I think we'll wrap it up there. I'm hoping you enjoyed the short demo, if you can call this a short demo, and I hope you enjoyed it. And so with that, you have a good day.